what if you take a chance and make a choice that maybe it gets messy in the moment, but then you look back and you're like, I'm so glad I did that because one, I learned something new about myself or about the world or about someone else. And two, lots of times when we make a decision and things don't go as planned, or they go horribly wrong, we actually build character. We're strengthening our character. We're learning more of what we want, what we don't want. And sometimes you look back on the tough times in life or the kind of awkward or uncomfortable situations and you see how much growth you received from doing that. Hey y'all, welcome back to Reel It In. I'm your host Reid Cox, and this is your go-to destination for self-improvement and creating the life you've always desired, all while keeping it real. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about making choices in life to just do it for the plot. If we are looking at our lives like it's one big movie or one big novel, one big story, if our life is one big story, how can we make decisions that are going to thicken the plot of our lives? But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a future episode. Our community is growing so fast right now, y'all. Ragnar! And this is our mascot, Ragnar, for the channel. Hey boy, are you gonna hang out with us today? But our community is growing like crazy right now. I'm so happy that y'all found us. Oh, hey buddy boy, you wanna say something? If you love Ragnar, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like, drop a comment in the comments. I can't wait to hear from y'all. I love talking with y'all in the comments and just hearing about what your thoughts are with that video or how you're feeling this week. So don't be a stranger, don't be shy, drop a comment, and let's get into it. The best stories aren't lived by people who play it safe. They are lived by people who do it for the plot. The ones who say yes before they're ready. The ones who take the leap even when they're scared. And who choose the most interesting option, even if things don't go as planned. Today, we are talking about how to do it for the plot. Lots of times we get to places in life where we have to make a choice. Do we say yes to this or no to that? Do we go down this path, go down that path? Or do we just opt out completely and don't do anything and play it safe? Well, in this video, I am going to be telling you why when you have a decision to make, you should always make the choice that does it for the plot. The story that thickens your plot. And when you look at your life like it's one big story, you're always going to make the choice that's going to be the juiciest, the most exciting, even if things don't go as planned. A lot of the time, you do it for the plot and things go horribly wrong. However, it probably makes a better story than if you did nothing. You know what I mean? So today's video is all about taking risks, saying yes, living boldly. So you can look back on your life, you can look back on the story of your life and think, wow, that was one great story. Have you ever been in a season of your life where you feel like you're just playing it so safe? You're just so stuck in your old ways, or you're so afraid to make a wrong move or make a mistake that you just end up not really doing much of anything? Well, when you look back on your life, you're going to look back on those seasons of like, wow, why was I so afraid to do anything? Why did I not take a risk? Why did I just stay in my old ways? When I could have said yes to an opportunity that might have felt scary in the moment and honestly might have seemed like a bad idea. But if you had gone to that path, you would have discovered something new and you would have thickened the plot of your story. Even if it goes wrong, at least it would have been a great story to tell. The whole phrase, do it for the plot, I think it became hot online a few years ago where people were like, should I go skinny dipping in a foreign country? Might as well do it for the plot. You know, like the idea is doing things that might turn out badly, even if they have like a high likelihood of going badly, you still do it because you're doing it for the plot. Lots of times we tell ourselves, you know, what if I embarrass myself? What if things go horribly wrong? What if this sets me 3 steps back? But what if it does work out? What if you take a chance and make a choice that maybe it gets messy in the moment, but then you look back and you're like, I'm so glad I did that because one, I learned something new about myself or about the world or about someone else. And two, lots of times when we make a decision and things don't go as planned, or they go horribly wrong, we actually build character. We're strengthening our character. We're learning more of what we want, what we don't want. And sometimes you look back on the tough times in life or the kind of awkward or uncomfortable situations and you see how much growth you received from doing that. You can see how much you grew from making that mistake or saying yes to something when it didn't turn out that great. You know what I mean? So even if you make a choice to do it for the plot and it doesn't go well, it's still working in your favor. The universe is always steering you in the right direction, okay? You can do no wrong. Unless you do something to, I mean, we're not talking about like doing it for the plot as like a point of like hurting someone else. Doing it for the plot is not about hurting anyone. It's not about being a mean girl. It's not about doing anything that would harm or hurt anyone else. Let me be very clear. Doing it for the plot is taking a chance and knowing that it could go horribly wrong, but you're going to do it anyways because you're doing it for the plot. I mean, here's the thing. Society tells us to play it safe and strive for perfection, but no good story ever came from someone staying in their comfort zone, you know? Even failures become the plot. Failures can be the best part of the story. I mean, tell me one movie that you've watched where the main character is just living like an easy breezy life and nothing good or really bad ever happens to them. Every story comes with a problem. So maybe doing it for the plot creates the problem that you have to therefore go solve. I don't know. Is this making sense? Is this making sense, Ragnar? Is this making sense, boy? He's looking at a squirrel. He's way more interested in that squirrel. Okay. How do we start actually living for the plot? Say yes more often. Some of y'all out here are just not saying yes enough. You're just saying no, or I'll think about it. Like, you're not saying yes to what life's giving you. Sometimes say yes to something that you know is just like not even right for you, but just to shake shit up and just realize what is right for you and what's not right for you. Just say yes. Just say yes. Stop saying no all the time. You know, like, I mean, I think no is a really powerful word, and it's important to say no to what's not serving us or what we don't want, but sometimes you just got to say yes if you're in the habit of saying no. I mean, say yes to opportunities, say yes to trips, say yes to fun, say yes to having fun. A lot of the times when we're stagnant in life, we're just not having enough fun. And say yes even if it feels scary or uncertain. For me, I always know when it's a yes or a no. Like, if my chest is saying no, like, oh my gosh, that could be so embarrassing, but my gut is saying yes, I always listen to my gut. Our bodies actually tell us what we should do and what we shouldn't do, you know? And a lot of times we know the answer because our body is telling us what to do, but we just ignore it and are thinking too much with our logical mind and not feeling with what our body wants us to do and where our body is steering us to go. Next thing you need to do, follow the excitement, not the fear. Okay, so when something's bothering us in life, it's really easy to let it take over. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this bad thing happens? What if that bad thing happens? And we're really just draining our energy when we should be putting our focus onto what lights us up, what excites us, what is the most exciting choice. If something makes your heart race, lean into it. The next thing you need to do, trust the process. Life's best opportunities and moments often come from unexpected detours. I mean, I'm in a point in my life right now where I feel like I'm on one big unexpected detour. So many things are happening in my life that I could have never thought would ever be my reality. Some good, some challenging. But even in all these detours, I'm trusting the process. I believe in God and a higher power, so I am trusting God. I am trusting a higher power that some higher force is looking out for me. So if I'm ever nervous about what's going on and maybe my plot feels like it's getting a bit too thick, I always trust that my detours are leading me in the right direction. So trust the process. And the next one is make choices like a storyteller. When you're given a decision to make, ask yourself, what would make the most interesting next chapter? And when we have this mindset, we not only create more interesting circumstances, but we mold ourselves into a more interesting person. I don't know about y'all, but at this point in my life, I'm just like constantly looking for circumstances that are going to mold me into an interesting, well-rounded, layered woman. And sometimes that takes tough circumstances or saying yes to things that really scare us to actually become that interesting, well-rounded person that I desire to be. So yeah, like, obviously don't say yes to something that makes you wildly uncomfortable in a bad way, like trust your gut. But if you have the opportunity to do something that makes your heart race in a good way, say yes. Okay, so recently I had an opportunity to go to New York City, and it was for an acting job. And I was like, I had a lot going on in my life at the time, and I was like, should I go? Should I not? And then I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna say yes to New York. I'm gonna go to New York. I'm gonna stay like 3 extra days. And I am going to thicken my plot so much. I'm going to do it for the plot. I am going to say yes to this opportunity that life's giving me to go have an adventure. And it was amazing. Another way I did it for the plot is when I said yes to moving to Austin, Texas. I was living in Los Angeles for 14 years. And when my husband, then boyfriend, told me that he got an opportunity in Austin, I was like, oh my God, I can't move to Austin. What? But then I thought, I should just go and do it for the plot, because if it goes great, amazing. And if it goes horribly wrong, at least I will have thickened my plot and have an amazing story to tell. And also, like, if you're at a time in your life where you feel like things are stagnant and you don't have a lot going on, ask yourself, what could my next plot twist be? What is something that I could do to like shake shit up, you know? What is something that you could do to get out of your comfort zone and bring new opportunities into your life? So I challenge you, what is one thing you can do this week to thicken your plot? Is it asking someone to go for coffee that you're really afraid of? Is it taking a chance and possibly embarrassing yourself by putting yourself out there in some way? Is it by starting a YouTube channel? And maybe it's a really bad video, but it thickens the plot because you started something new. Is it telling that one person how you really feel? And, you know, if you have a crush on someone, maybe tell them how you feel. And if they're like, I like you too, great. If they're like, I don't feel the same way, you just thicken your plot. And now you can move on and find someone that does actually like you for the person you really are. So y'all, just remember, your life is a story in the making. This week, I want y'all to go out and make it interesting. Okay, y'all, that is it for the day. Again, thank you so much for being here. Remember, if you haven't hit the subscribe button and you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, share this video with someone that you think it will resonate with. Leave me a comment. I'm so happy y'all are here, and I will see y'all next time. And remember, do it for the plot.